Friends, there's a simple but profoundly important standard for using a firearm or for drawing one, and that is objective, reasonable evidence of a deadly threat. Want to take your knowledge beyond the narrated videos? Join us on Active Self-Protection Extra and subscribe for multiple videos every week to help you get better in your defensive skills. Hi everyone, this is John with today's Active Self-Protection lesson out of Buena Park, California. Here we are going to see an off-duty Buena Park officer who is going to act in an egregiously irresponsible manner with his firearm. And we're going to learn significant and important lessons here about the legal aspects of firearms use and the moral aspects of firearms use, and when you can and cannot use your firearm. We have something very interesting here in that the victim is actually going to walk us through this and give us a play-by-play. So when he's done, we'll come back and think about some lessons from his perspective and from the officers.
I went, I saw some Mentos, grabbed them, and I put them on the counter, and I gave the cashier $20.
Oh, you. I thought you. How much are these? 119.
So as he's getting my change, he already gave me the loose change. As he gets my change, I grab the Mentos and put it in my left, the jacket pocket. And as soon as I put it in my pocket, then I hear someone behind me with a loud voice say, "I'm a police officer. Take that out of your pocket."
Hey, keep that back 15 seconds. Police officer. Oh, I paid for it. Put it back, police officer. I just paid for this. Put it back. Oh. Try stealing that from you. I just paid. Get your cash and leave. Change. Hey, get your cash and leave. I just paid. Did he pay for this?
Yeah.
He paid for it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
My apologies, sir. My apologies.
I go, "I just paid for that." So I'm trying to explain to him that I just paid for that, and he was just so adamant about, treating me like a criminal.
So just a normal day here until it's not, and that's how your defensive encounter is going to go as we go back and think about some lessons here. This guy clearly had done nothing wrong, and clearly I think anybody with a brain could see that this was an unjustified use of force and should be called out as such. So this guy's just doing his normal thing, decides he wants to buy some Mentos, and think about now from this officer's perspective, as he walks in here, is there any evidence that there's a wrongdoing going on here? You notice here, I do want to say that the officer puts his hand in his pocket, and that pocket is where his firearm is. I can't tell you enough, friends. If you have a firearm in a pocket, don't put your hand in that pocket unless you need to draw the firearm. Don't play with your gun. That's a great time for administrative problems to happen, negligent discharges. So that was a mistake from the giddy up. Tells me he's not thinking about firearm safety very carefully. Now, as things go down, you're going to see this guy here again. He's just going to pay for some Mentos. He's paid for them. Is there any reasonable, objective evidence of a deadly threat? There's not. Whether you're an officer or a regular CCW, you can't pull a gun unless there is objective evidence that you need that firearm to defend your life or others. It's the same for officers as anyone else. So he had absolutely no reason to draw his firearm here. Even if the guy was stealing some Mentos, someone stealing Mentos is absolutely no reason to draw your firearm. There's no objective evidence here that this guy is violent or could be a problem in that vicinity, even if he's a petty thief. So you cannot draw a firearm. I don't care if you're an officer or not. This is not an effective use of a firearm and not an authorized use of a firearm, and he should be certainly fired for it and up on charges. Now, you notice that when he pulls a gun out of his pocket there, this is from the officer's perspective, pulls it out, has a holster, but then has to use both hands to get the holster off the gun, and that is a bad idea. You want to have a pocket holster that stays in the pocket, whether it's got a clip or a wedge or something on it that keeps it set, that you can draw it with one hand, and also notice his lack of firearm safety, that he's now pointing a gun at himself. So you gotta, if you're gonna carry in a perspective like pocket carry or something, you gotta know how you are going to go about doing that. Now, thankfully, at least he doesn't point the gun at him and he has good trigger finger discipline. And I also want to say here from the perspective of this victim, notice that he complies. I think that's the right decision here. I mean, obviously you're not gonna wrestle a police officer for his gun or whatever, but instead of arguing with him, instead of giving him a hard time, what are you doing? You can't do that. I'm gonna, sue you or whatever. He just complies. Hey, no problem, man. I'll do what you want. And then fight him in court. Let the lawyers deal with him, and trust me, the lawyers are going to deal with this in a significant way, and this poor victim is going to definitely get himself some money for his time and effort and the heartache that he has had to endure here. So friends, listen, I think that was a great decision on the victim's part to just comply, do what the officer said, and get the heck out of there. The officer here needs to be disciplined in a significant way, and actually could be brought up on charges for aggravated assault because of what he did with a firearm in an unjustified manner under California law. So we'll see how that all plays out, but let's make sure we learn the lessons here. Only use our firearms in legitimate ways to cover our asp.